Assalamu alaikum everyone. Now we are talking about the times of Ibsen's socio-cultural background of the Hedda Gabler. In 1891, the Ibsen abandoned his self-imposed exile and returned back to his native country. Norway. The Norway at this time was isolated from the revolutionary movement, affecting both society and culture in more cosmopolitan centers, and that isolation was partially the result of inaccessibility. Modern communication and transportation were still in their infancy, awaiting the second major stage of the Industrial Revolution. The post telegraph were the only real mean of exchanging information over long distance. But Norway was also isolated in other ways. The dominant religion, Evangelical Lutheranism, was a conservative force in the social thinking of the country, and one that, through his creative life, had not treated Ibsen well. The domestic frank treatment of the taboo subject and rigorous uh, scrutiny and traditional offended many of his countrymen. As a result, Ibsen was founded into a long artistic exile from his homeland. Almost alone among the European countries, the Norway after 1814 enjoyed a large measure of independence, separated in that year from the Denmark and joined to the monarchy of the uh, Sweden. Norway had its own constitution which provided for an executive branch and comprised of the appointed civil servants, a legislature elected indirectly by the people, and a separate judiciary. Hence, when revolution broke out all over the Europe and Norway was spread a rebellion, although it had its share of revolutionary and radical recognition, to the most influential of these led by Marcus Morer Twain, and his assistant convinced him to give up active politics and for the liberal socialist view of the Twain and other. Ibsen in later life and little use the seems largely indifferent to the problem of the labor and in general avoid the presenting people of the lower class in his play. What these even did do for the Ibsen was to intensify his spirit of rebellion against the authority and against the entrenched opinions, themes which appeared later in the Ghost 1881 and the Enemy of the People 1882, as well as in other plays. In the last quarter of the 19th century, there were significant developments of all over the Europe. The British Empire was in the major stage of the development, making inroads in near and fast east by the dint of its superior naval power. Indeed, its rule the seas through and Africa and other undeveloped areas of the world. It had major competitors, including the Germany and France, which, like Great Britain, looked for raw material and markets to exploit. The seeds of the more revolutionary changes were also sown in 1890. By the middle of the decade, the Sigmund Freud had begun developing this secondary method. Louis and Auguste Lemery had introduced moving the pictures. William Wrongington had discovered the X-rays, and Joseph Thomson had isolated the electron. The world was still reeling from the influence of the two important thinkers Karl Marx and the Charles Stone, whose impact was being felt in everything from the religion and politics to arts and letters. Thank you so much.